Hi, welcome to Transplanting Day. Today I've got some seedlings that are ready to be transplanted into clay pots for our winter garden. Behind me you can see an area that we're getting going for mushroom farming. So we are working on expanding and growing a business here. So we've got some eggplant seedlings that are ready to go. And seedlings are about 1 inch to 2 inches tall. They're ready to be transplanted. So those will go today. This is some catnip. It's not quite ready to go. I've got 2 seedlings here that came up. That taller one I would go ahead and transplant if it was by itself, but since it's got this other one in there too that needs a little extra time, I'm going to give that another day or two till they're both ready, and then I'll put them in separate pots and separate the two of those out. Let's see here. This is some, let me show you a different one. Now this is some parsley, and I'd be comfortable separating both of those. The root system is probably strong enough, it's definitely strong enough that it can handle it. And I'll be adding in some nice root growth as I do that. So I usually keep a jar of some root growth handy, and I'll just give it a little stir, and then I add a couple of drops into the pot after I've made a hole, and that'll help the roots get established. When you're doing organic farming, you really don't need add a whole lot into the soil, because the soil already is full of great rich nutrients. So you just want a little something to get the roots going, and then the plants will take off. After they've been growing for quite some time in the soil, and eventually we'll need to add in a little bit of other organic nutrients. But at first they're just going to get everything they need from that nice rich soil. So we are going to go ahead, let me show you with one of these eggplants how I would separate it. Move this tray over. And you really don't want to take it apart until you're all ready to go. So in here I've already added some soil from my tray into the pot. And after you do so, you just want to kind of tamper it down. You're not smashing it too hard. You're just kind of making sure that when you water it, there's not a whole lot of extra air pockets so that the soil doesn't smush down and you've got a nice level. You also want to make sure that you have some room at the top of your pot so that when you water, you're not washing that soil away. And then I've got just a nice little tray for the bottom. So this is ready to go, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a little hole inside. Kind of scoot it away a little bit, the dirt. Don't need a very big one because we've got those small little seeds that we're planting in. And then before I take it apart, I'm just going to go ahead and stir up the root growth, some gnarly stuff, so I don't want to get any drops anywhere. Just kind of set that to the side. Get my little droplet out. Just pick up some of that. I'm just going to kind of move it around a bit. It's probably about, I don't know, a little bit more than I usually do. That was probably about 8 to 10 drops, and I usually probably do about 5. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of smooth my soil in there a little bit, because I'm not going to need a very big space for my teeny little eggplant. Now, the pellets come in this netting, so you just want to kind of pull that netting right off. Oops. Oh, that's okay. That's why I've got a little catch tray down below. Alright. And it feels like it's nice and moist already. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it right into that little hole that I've created. And I want to make sure that the soil is nice and even with the top of the soil from the pellet. Looks like it's standing straight there. Yeah, so it looks beautiful in that pot. It's nice in the center. I got my soil doesn't quite look even here, so I'm going to go ahead and smooth it out. Okay, and then one of the things that you also want to do when you are transplanting is make sure that you water right away. So I'm going to go grab that. I think I've seen another gardener on YouTube doing this as well. Using a little sake cup is a great way to water, because that way you can really control the amount of water, and you don't want to wash your seedlings or your new transplant away. So it was already pretty moist, that seed pellet that I went ahead and put in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and water around that, because I don't want it to get too wet. Now you do want to make sure that you are watering all of the soil, because if you don't keep your soil moist, it ends up becoming not it's not malleable anymore for the water. I'm not thinking of the right word here. But pretty soon the soil will stop retaining water if you let it go without water for long enough. So you want to make sure you get a good amount of water in there. I'm getting a good amount around on the outside without trying to drain or drown that new little seedling. And if you water around it too, it's going to want to cause those roots to spread out. But first they've got to make it out through that seed pellet, which they will very, very soon, because of that great root growth that I put in. So there we go, transplanting eggplant into a clay pot, ready to go for our winter garden. So have a wonderful day, and make it a green one.